21st, my office indicted 8 individuals for PCP and fentanyl trafficking as well as conspiracy.
Imagine cruising down I-5 beside an ordinary semi-truck, not realizing it is carrying enough fentanyl to kill the entire population of the state of Alabama 7 times over. When federal agents finally pulled the trucks over, they uncovered a deadly secret hidden in plain sight that no one saw coming. The morning of September 7, 2025 started just like any other day as traffic started building along Interstate 5 near the Washington-Oregon border. Everything changed when federal agents of a joint DEA-HSI investigation pulled over an ordinary semi-truck for inspection. At first, the agents saw nothing that warranted additional search protocols. However, on a deeper search, they were shocked to find roughly 269 pounds of fentanyl originated from the Sinaloa cartel. To put that into perspective, that is enough fentanyl that could result in the deaths of every individual in the cities of San Antonio, Phoenix, San Diego, and Jacksonville combined. The discovery instantly shifted the case from routine enforcement to a matter of national security, making this one of the biggest narcotics hauls in the history of the United States. Among the convoys of commercial trucks was a white semi-trailer driven by Isabel Veriel Zapion, a 44-year-old long-haul driver with more than 2 decades of experience. Her truck looked ordinary and blended well with other trucks on the road. To anyone that cared to watch, this truck was just another ordinary piece of America's supply chain, moving as it should. And Zapion was the kind of person you would trust to deliver groceries, construction materials, or retail stock across state lines. But all this was a full cover. For the federal agents, this arrest seemed like jumping down a rabbit hole, as it raised more uncomfortable questions than answers. Was Zapion merely a courier caught in the wrong job, or part of something far larger? Could a driver who seemed so ordinary have knowingly carried one of the deadliest narcotics? Or was she a smokescreen to lead the agents away from the real thing? The easy explanation would be to label her an anomaly, a rogue driver, a tragic exception in an otherwise secure system. After all, the United States commercial transport network is tightly regulated. However, the Sinaloa cartel specifically targeted commercial drivers of various nationalities who could blend seamlessly into legitimate transportation networks without raising suspicion. Federal investigators hypothesized that this operation pointed towards something darker. One federal agent stated that this discovery offered a glimpse into a sophisticated network hiding in plain sight, one that was using everyday logistics to traffic death up America's most trusted highway. And what they would discover next upon digging deeper into this bust would shock the entire country. The Department of Justice announced a 37-count indictment against 15 defendants tied to the Sinaloa cartel operation. Many of them faced long prison sentences due to their involvements. Furthermore, additional hundreds of pounds of narcotics were seized, including methamphetamine, fentanyl, cocaine, and heroin. Among these narcotics, multiple pistols and rifles were also confiscated. Agents didn't just bust one network, they intercepted a complete criminal network. They also discovered multiple safe houses and different offices that were part of the supply chain. They went as far as intercepting calls, monitoring other shipments that were believed to be associated with the network, and following money flows. Meanwhile, financial analysts traced shell companies, front corporations, and money laundering patterns backing the cartel's cover. All this was aimed at achieving one goal: infiltrating the organization to the deepest levels and sending a message that no criminal organization is too big or complex for the US to deconstruct. After the seizure, the agents didn't stop with the driver. They started following up on the clues and evidence they had obtained and quickly unearthed a sprawling criminal network with tendrils reaching from Sinaloa, Mexico, to the heart of America's highways. By now, it was very clear that they were not dealing with a simple and random criminal cell. This was a well-organized international crime syndicate that had been designated to the status of a foreign terrorist organization by the US government. They set out and pored over manifests, GPS logs, and freight records, cross-referencing what looked legitimate and what didn't add up. They traced the shipment's route through multiple states, including California, Oregon, and Washington, following a corridor that mimicked standard commercial freight flows. Assuming multiple drug deals took place in these states, entire regional drug markets would have been supplied. As investigators uncovered the scale of the shipments, the case quickly swelled into a multi-state manhunt within days. The Justice Department's indictment named Rosario Abel Joaquin Camargo Banuelos and Francisco Fernando Camalo Banuelos, both based in Sinaloa, Mexico, as the masterminds behind this syndicate. The evidence presented pointed to an entire parallel logistics system built with one primary intention: to smuggle deadly chemicals under the cover of legitimate commercial activities. What made the operation almost impossible to crack open was its camouflage. The agents soon realized that this network relied on shell companies, clean driving histories, fake cargo manifests, and fraudulent registrations. All of these were carefully constructed to withstand inspection and to lead investigators either to a dead end or to the wrong target. Trucks were masked as carrying electronics, textiles, or industrial goods, and the paperwork seemed flawless. Under that veneer, the organization hid compartments where drug caches were transported on busy US highways, right under the noses of federal agents. For years, this operation had been running undetected, operating quietly beneath the surface of legitimate commerce. Only in hindsight can we begin to grasp the true scale of what was happening. Countless pounds of narcotics already distributed into communities across multiple states. The realization raises a chilling question. How deep does this network truly run? The cartel's recruitment methods were equally calculated. They sought drivers who were experienced and trustworthy, or vulnerable. Some were American citizens, which made it almost impossible for them to raise any form of red flag among the agents, while others were foreign nationals. Regardless of the nationalities, these drivers had something in common. They had mastered the art of blending in without raising suspicion. Whether motivated by greed or deception, these drivers formed the human link between the supply chain of narcotics and everyday roads. It also turned out that the choice of I-5 as a route was no accident. This route is a straight, continuous artery linking the Mexican border to the Canadian one, slicing through major distribution hubs used for such multi-million-dollar operations. As the investigation revealed, the corridor is perfect for blending flows with legitimate freight without raising an ounce of suspicion. What you have heard so far is just the surface of a much deeper story. Subscribe now so you don't miss what investigators uncovered next, because this case only gets darker from here. For the next few days, a coalition of federal, state, and local agencies quietly pursued the threads of what would become one of the most ambitious cartel crackdowns in West Coast drug enforcement history. They gradually wove together wiretap surveillance, undercover infiltration, financial tracing, and cross-jurisdiction coordination. This case also drove the rapid development of advanced detection techniques and new models of cooperation between the DEA, Homeland Security Investigations, and transportation authorities, demonstrating the success achievable through effective interagency collaboration. The crisis opened up new opportunities to strengthen national security, including innovative methods for monitoring commercial vehicles without disrupting legitimate trade, direct coordination with Mexican authorities to prevent infiltration at the source, and raising public awareness about identifying suspicious commercial activity. Operation Take Back America is a nationwide campaign that brings together the full power of the Justice Department to tackle illegal immigration, dismantle cartels and transnational criminal networks, and protect communities from violent crime. The scale of this operation dwarfed multiple others conducted in the region in recent years. It highlighted the audacity and fearlessness of the criminal organization, capable of attempting to shuttle massive volumes of narcotics through US highways. Beyond the seizures and arrests, the crackdown forced the United States to reframe its understanding of the threat. Every commercial truck now represents a potential danger. What had once been treated as isolated drug rings are now recognized as systematic infiltration of America's transportation grid. Mexican drug networks have found a way to weaponize American highways, signaling that they are evolving rapidly. The shift from regional threats to national infrastructure vulnerability creates a complete new war. The next front will not be at a border crossing or city checkpoint. It will be wherever trucks travel.